Hello everyone, myself Dr. Sridhar, working as Assistant Professor of Mathematics, Government First Grade College, Goka. So now, as you know that I am taking the class on rings and fields, and in the last class we have learned what is a ring with zero divisor, what is a ring without zero divisor, then what is an integral domain, and what is a field. And also we have proved one theorem on that. So today I will prove another theorem. Okay, so that is every finite integral domain is a field. Every finite integral domain is a field. So now to prove this theorem, let us assume that let D be an integral domain. Let D be an integral domain which is finite. Domain which is finite. Okay, so then let D is equal to, let the elements of D be 0, 1. Okay, then A1, A2 and so on up to an because it is a finite integral domain. Finite integral domain. Okay, so now it is a finite integral domain. So now as D is a finite integral domain, okay, it is a finite integral domain. So by the definition of the integral domain, what is the definition of an integral domain? So a commutative ring with unity and is without zero divisors is called as a integral domain, or in other words we can say that a commutative ring with unity is said to be an integral domain if AB is equal to 0 implies either A is equal to 0 or B is equal to 0. So this is by the definition of the integral domain. So now as D is an integral domain, so therefore we apply this property. So therefore what I take, instead of taking AB, I take AI and AI plus 1. So therefore AI into AI plus 1 is equal to 0 implies either AI is equal to 0 or AI plus 1 is equal to 0. Okay, so now this implies, now as AI is equal to 0 or AI plus 1 is equal to 0. So suppose if AI plus 1 is equal to 0, then what happened? Then AI is not equal to 0, because any one of the cases is possible, either AI is 0 or AI plus 1 is 0. That means if AI plus 1 is 0, then AI is non-zero. AI is a non-zero. So therefore AI is not equal to 0. So as AI is not equal to 0, this means that there exists an inverse of AI, because when any element is not equal to 0, then automatically its inverse will exist. For example, 2, for example take 2. So 2, it is not equal to 0. It is not equal to 0, then its inverse is 1 by 2. So that when you multiply these two, will get what? 1. Okay, suppose that if 0 is equal to, if you take 0 is equal to 0, so 0 element, then 1 by 0 means what? It becomes infinity. So if an element is 0, then its inverse will not exist. Its inverse will not exist because 1 by 0 gives infinity. So therefore here, as AI is not equal to 0, there exists an inverse of AI, that is AI into AI inverse is equal to 1. AI inverse is equal to 1. Okay, so this is the one case. Next, suppose if AI plus 1 is not equal to, if AI plus 1 is equal to AI is equal to 0. if ai is equal to 0. First we have taken, let ai plus 1 is 0, so then ai is not equal to 0. Next what we take, if ai is equal to 0, then what happened, ai plus 1 is not equal to 0. So this means as ai plus 1 is not equal to 0, there exists an inverse of ai plus 1. So which means ai plus 1 into ai plus 1, its inverse is equal to what? 1, is equal to 1. So therefore in both the cases, in both, or therefore we can write therefore. Now this is what, therefore for every non-zero element, for every non-zero element ai belongs to d, ai belongs to d, there exists a multiplicative inverse, so which is the condition for a field, such that ai into ai inverse is equal to 1. So therefore D is a field. Because why we have taken this D is a field? Because the field definition is what? An integral domain. Field, a commutative ring with unity is said to be a field if for every non-zero element there exists a multiplicative inverse such that a into a inverse is equal to 1. So therefore for every non-zero element there exists its multiplicative inverse, so that the product gives 1. So therefore D is a field. So therefore every finite integral domain is a field. So this is the proof. Okay, so now we move on to subrings. Okay, so now we define what is a subring, and with some examples, and we see some examples on subrings. Now subring. Okay, so now subring is defined as a non-empty set, a non-empty subset, yes, of a ring R, comma, plus comma dot. Means a ring is always with two binary operation, that is addition and multiplication. So a non-empty subset S of a ring R plus comma dot is said to be a subring. If S itself a ring, under the operations addition and multiplication. Okay, so that means subring S is closed under subring of a ring S. Subring S of a ring R is closed under addition and multiplication. Addition and multiplication is closed under addition and multiplication. Okay, so now we see a subring. Now a ring, say take example, a ring R comma plus dot, okay, is a subring of itself, is a subring of itself, okay. So is a subring of itself. Similarly, the set containing 0, the set containing 0 is also a subring of R, is also a subring of R, subring of a ring R plus comma dot. So remember that a ring R plus comma multiplication is a subring of itself. A ring is a subring of itself. Similarly, the set containing the element 0 is also a subring of ring R. Okay. Now these two subrings are called as trivial subrings or improper subrings. Okay. So now these two subrings are called as trivial subrings or improper subrings. Improper subring. Okay, so any other subrings other than these two, they are called as proper subrings. Okay, so now we see some examples. So here the set Z of integers, is a subring of ring of rationals. The set Z of integers is a subring of ring of rationals. Okay, this is the first example. Now similarly here second one, subring of rationals. Similarly, the second one is the set Q of rationals. The set Q of rationals is a subring of